Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Today, we're discussing a 2015 model year limited edition of 250 pieces in stainless steel. This is the IWC Big Pilot's watch Patrouille Suisse, dedicated to the Swiss military aeronautical demonstration squadron of the same name. It is a Big Pilot's watch, 46.2 millimeters in diameter, 16.1 millimeters thick as I measure it. It's 56.3 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The watch wears large on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. No surprises there. You could see that the lugs clearly extend beyond my wrist, and that's a no-go for me. I believe your wrist needs to be at least 17 centimeters circumference to wear the watch, though not being as thick as might be expected for a watch of this size. And with a stepped case flank, it should be able to fit underneath the jacket cuff of a man large enough to wear this watch. Taking a look at the strap, it is a thick cut piece of leather, and you can see that it has an embossed textile pattern. Don't be fooled, it's calfskin on both sides, black on the top, black on the bottom, a very lightly contrasting gray stitch. We have a clasp that is media blasted, just like the watch, so a subdued anti-glare finish. You can see this one's made by Brogioli. That's the supplier for the clasp. That's what that BRO means. We also have a clasp that is shaped like a conventional Big Pilot's watch clasp, but you can see it matches the finish. It is massive, though. This is by itself heavier than some ultra-thin watches that I have reviewed in the past. The case is all media blasted, which is nice because when you refinish a media blasted case, in general, you just blast it again. You don't need to reductively remove metal. Taking a quick look, it's the classic IWC Pilot's Watch integrated lug profile, smooth, fluid, and true to history. Both the Mark series as well as the original BR, or the Luftwaffe observation watch, of which IWC was one of several suppliers back in 1940. That original would have had the same general shape and layout, but it would have been 55 millimeters. 46.2 here is almost a mid-size. Ironic? You better believe it. Taking a quick look at the crown, it's the only part of this watch that is polished steel. It's enormous in its own right at 10.8 millimeters in diameter. And you can see it says Probus Scafusia. It's the Motto crown, a good solid watch made in Schaffhausen. Combined with the screw-down caseback, the screw-down crown, and the 60-meter water resistance means this watch is surface swimmable. The bezel is somewhat recessed from the case band, and then it's vertical before it arcs to meet the crystal, and all this is just calculated to create the impression of a less massive watch. The dial is anthracite. It has large raised blocks of luminant material at the quarters. We'll take a look at how that presents itself in the dark. Plenty of luminescence. We have enormous blackened kite-style hands for the hours and minutes, then matching hands for the running seconds, as well as the power reserve indicator. We have two sunken sub-registers. The watch has a nice bilateral symmetry. You can split it down the middle. It's symmetrical on each side. Each of the sunken subs features a concentric texture internally. There is a hacking seconds function, so you can stop the seconds hand and set the watch against a reference time. And then there is also a quick set, so you can rapidly cycle the date if you need to. There is a power reserve indicator. Though the watch is an automatic winder, you can manually wind it for the horological theater of a fast-moving power reserve. And underneath the case back, we have IWC manufacturer caliber 51011. Now, this is a huge movement. It's based on the old caliber 5000 that came out in the Portugueser back in 2000. The movement is one of the world's largest automatic winders. It's 38.2 millimeters in diameter. It's a bidirectional winder with the pawl-based IWC Peloton winding system that's been used since the 1950s. It is a time-tested, very efficient, and very durable mechanism created by the great watchmaker Albert Peloton, still in use today. Taking a quick look at the dial, you can imagine what sits beneath a 7-day automatic movement. So you've got 7 days of power reserve. The watch beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's actually adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. And in order to keep excellent time in all of those various tested positions, the watch uses a overcoil hairspring that has a more centered mass, so more symmetry all the way around than a flat hairspring. That improves positional timekeeping. And we have, of course, the free-sprung architecture, so the 5-position adjustment is going to be more resilient against shocks and concussions on the wrist. And the watch does have a soft iron cage around the movement to endow this timepiece with a high degree of anti-magnetic resilience. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.